Yo, what's going on? It's Greg Santos, and welcome to the Outlier Circle. Now, this is your first time joining me here today. I help isolated outliers who lack a powerful network of mentors and peers and help you create a world-class network. If that sounds like you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification button because I'm gonna be dropping some super hot fire, some dope-ass videos in the future, and you're not gonna wanna miss them. You're gonna be one of the first people to watch it. You're gonna fucking watch it, and you're gonna love it, okay? You're gonna implement it, and you're gonna take your fucking life to the next level. Sound good? All right, awesome. All right, we're starting off on a good foot, aren't we? So today I want to talk about something that's very powerful. Now, when we see people who are above us, there's this effect that successful people have, or even very attractive women have. And when we see someone who has high value, we tend to start walking on eggshells, right? Even with an attractive woman, like we see them, we get nervous and it's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing or like offensive, or if they react a certain way, I feel like an idiot or I feel humiliated. And this concept is called the halo effect, where we see someone who's at another level, whether it's a very successful person or a very attractive woman, and we tend to project a perfect lifestyle on them. We see all these people have it all. They have the money, they have the connections, they have the people around them. Like, how am I any different than those people? And one thing that a lot of people fail to realize is that, sure, someone might have something exterior, but inside they truly just feel like a regular person. They're just a human being. As a matter of fact, they're just as fucked up as you are, if not even more fucked up. But they may not put that kind of stuff out there because, you know, they have an image, of course. But you got to understand that these people are just human beings, right? And it's not more so, I'm not going to talk more about them. I want to talk about you for a second, because I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of what makes somebody a compelling person. Now, I know I came out with a video on what makes someone a compelling person, but I keep diving in deeper and figuring out, like, well, what is it about somebody that really makes them attractive, that you want to be around that person? And a big one is the fact that to be around somebody that is okay with themselves, someone who's comfortable with themselves. Isn't that attractive? Someone who's like, yeah, I'm a fucked up person. Someone who understands that they've made huge, like, big mistakes in their life and they accept it. Yeah, I fucked up. Or someone who is open, real, and honest with their story. That is someone that's, you're like, wow, that's so brave and that's amazing, because a lot of people keep that to themselves. A lot of people die with this tension in their body and in their life, and they look for ways to escape it through external means, and people form addictions to escape themselves. And when you can come and look at what your faults are and where you fucked up and how you're not a perfect human being and completely accept that, and you can wear that on your sleeve, man, is that very compelling and very attractive. You know, I have a good buddy of mine. He's a successful guy, and this guy, he has a very, very interesting story. You know, I believe he took like 20 tabs of acid when he was 16 years old, and really just couldn't differentiate, you know, like real life and like this dream world for a couple weeks, and really, you know, fucked up his brain for a little bit. And he even, you know, struggled with alcoholism for a bit, and, you know, and he's overcome that. But the thing is, like, he like explains it, and you're like, wow, like what else, man? And that's insane. And even for myself, you know, I've dealt with, you know, a whole bunch of things, you know, dealing with domestic violence, just embarrassing stories of, like, me going into high school. When I was in high school, I was gonna say going to high school classrooms, not as an adult, okay, but as also a high school student, going into classrooms and asking girls to the dance, you know, singing on a ukulele, and these girls, you know, barely even knew who I was, and there was no really deep connection, and interrupting classrooms to do that, you know, it's embarrassing stuff. But it even gets deeper than that. Like, that's not even close. That's like service level stuff. And then, you know, dealing with things like, you know, my like domestic violence that's happened in my life, and having to overcome addictions like, you know, weed and porn and TV and all of these different things, and really coming to this point where it's like, you know what? I am a fucked up person, and that's okay. I have done fucked up shit in my life, and that's part of my journey. That's part of who I am, and I fully accept that. And when you accept that, and when you hold that true to yourself, like nobody can take that away from you. Like that's power that you have, like that nobody can really hold over you. No one can hold over these facts over you, and you can say, yeah, well, yeah, that's what happened. That's the truth. And the moment you can stop trying to put on this front that you are this perfect character or you're an amazing person, you accept the fact that, yeah, you know what, there's parts of my life that are really dysfunctional. There's parts of my life where, yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty like shit. And that's not only just your life, but also in these very successful people's lives as well. When we see these people, we tend to think, wow, like you can have anything you want, you know, you can travel anywhere you want, you have, you know, you're living the dream, you have a business that you want, whatever, you can do whatever you want. But the thing is, it's like there's a part of that person's life that's very fucked up. And here's an interesting thing. Like people, they relate, here's a great way to build rapport. People relate to each other most when there's some kind of commonality of struggle together. Like they've done studies where like when you take somebody who has gone through like war or, you know, was a prisoner of war, and you take them to a therapist, you know, it's hard for them to recover, you know, they can't. But put that person in a group with other people who have gone through the same thing, and man, does it help them open up. It's the same thing with Alcoholics Anonymous, the same thing with overcoming any kind of addiction. And that's because people bond so much to the struggle. And just like when you can relate to what somebody else is going through, there's such a community aspect of that. And you know, even with when I used to do jujitsu, I remember like jujitsu is a very, very difficult martial art to get good at. And it requires a lot of discipline, it requires a lot of struggle, it requires you to get strangled all the time, it requires your joints to get manipulated all the time. And it's a long, long ass journey, and there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of putting your ego to the side. And when you meet somebody else who trains jujitsu and you see that they are maybe at your level, or they're starting out, or maybe they're at a higher level, whatever level they're at, you can really relate to them because you know that they also understand the struggle. They've also gone through what you've gone through, or they're on the path to go through what you've gone through. And there's such a community aspect in that because, again, bonding through the struggle. So when you can really wear your heart on your sleeve and say, yeah, like this is where I struggled, this is where I fall short, and you accept that, people are like, oh my God, like I feel like I can really be myself around you. I feel like there's nothing that's off the table when I talk to you because you're so open and you're real, and we can have a really honest discussion instead of like, you know, dancing around this, you know, and having like these very on the surface level, you know, conversations. And the thing is, it's like a lot of people are afraid to go in and rock the boat and make a risky joke or really express themselves or their cruel humor and whatever it is. And they feel like once they say stuff that's really on their mind, that this person is gonna be like, oh, what the hell? And some people are, but some people are gonna be like, yo, that's okay. I'm like the same way. Okay, like you can talk to me in a way that most people aren't because you understand me on an internal level, and you don't put me on this big pedestal because they're just another human being. And think about it, they're just a person. They're no one special. They just have maybe some more eyes looking at them. That's it. And just consistently over time, we keep seeing their face, and we tend to think that that's like, we fail to realize that that's just like a fucking regular person. And the way to connect with them is you gotta first be okay with yourself. It sounds crazy, it sounds ridiculous, but when you can really accept your faults, the mistakes you've made, the addictions that you have, and how fucked up you are as a person, and you know you're working to overcome that, and you can just be open and honest about that, that allows people to really relax and allows people to just be like, whew, man, finally somebody who's open, real, and honest, and I can be vulnerable with. Isn't that powerful? That's some very, very powerful shit. And I'm gonna end with this. Tim Grover, you know, coach for Michael Jordan, coach for Kobe Bryant, he did this interview once, and someone asked him, like, what kind of people do you work with, Tim? And he goes, you know, the criteria is not that, it's not that grand. It's as long as somebody is, I work with someone who is just as fucked up as I am, you know, who has addictions, who is, you know, neurotic and just wants to win super bad. And don't put these people on a huge pedestal. Like, they have parts of their life that's really fucked up, and we all do, and that's okay. And if we can figure out a way to connect with them on that level, and it starts with connecting yourself on that level, the connections that you're gonna have are gonna be so deep. You're gonna make connections so effortlessly with the right people. Did you get some value from this? If you did, hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Also hit that bell so you get notified every time I drop some fire like this. Bam, baby. Light your motherfucking laptop on fire or your cell phone, whatever you're watching this on. That being said, everybody, make it a great day. And I'll see you in the next video.